Sorry, guys.
Okay, so how do you overcome objection at social security number? Um, I think what you just said, Greg, is that you sometimes let it breathe. People are smart, they'll figure it out. Sometimes that works.
Yeah.
There's three things that I point to. One is your own credibility. You gave them your federal license number. You gave them your NPN. Like they can look you up. Like that is your identifier. You had to go through background checks and fingerprints and all kinds of stuff to get this license. So I'd say, hey, I totally understand. And like you and I've only been talking for an hour. If you didn't have some resistance to that, that'd be kind of strange. Most people do. I totally understand. That's also why I gave you my license number. In order to get that license number, I had to be fingerprinted, background checked, ran through every single state, and I'm licensed in 38 states. So that number, you can look me up on the National Producers Registry, on the Department of Insurance, and I'm happy to give you my state license number as well. But the federal license number kind of trumps everything. The reason the carrier is asking for this is because they're going to pull your medical records to do the underwrite. If we don't give them the social, we can't get accurate medical records and there is no underwriting. So I totally understand, but that's also why I gave you my NPN number. That's like my version of the social. And like I haven't gotten any pushback like after that. I mean, I rarely get pushback at social in the first place, but NPN, and then you give them the why. You say, hey, I totally understand where you're at. If the carriers would underwrite without the social, can you imagine how many people would just come flooding in, just kicking tires, seeing what they qualify for? It wouldn't be profitable for the carriers. That's usually the one I use when they pocket banking. Is when they're like, why do you need my banking information? I'm like, well, I don't need it. And like anything you give me like is going directly into the carrier's website. I'm happy to send you a screenshot of it right now so you can see what I'm talking about, which I've done. I have gone online and I've pulled up the state Department of Insurance and taken a screenshot showing my NPN number that I gave them with the at the state license level. I've taken a screenshot of the application itself showing that it's like Mutual of Omaha or Foresters or whatever, and then I have to put the banking in order to submit it. But I'll usually say when it comes to banking, like, hey, if the carriers used to not require this, and what was happening, so many applications were coming in. The underwriters, they had an army of underwriters just underwriting applications, and the actual amount of those applications that turned into policies was very low. And so the carriers kind of figured out that, well, if we don't require banking, this isn't profitable. And it was resulting in higher premiums. And so, as a way to be more competitive and reduce premiums, they figured out we're going to require banking information that'll filter out the people that aren't serious. And that allows you to get the premiums that you're getting.
Use that.
It's different ways to think about it and different ways to talk about it.
I've
But
also been giving people my LinkedIn page and go, look, you're gonna look me up. You're gonna see me, my wife. You're gonna see we have 8 kids. You're gonna see where I live. You're gonna figure out really fast that I'm a
yeah,
legitimate person.
it's all credibility. It's like you've got my phone number, you've got my website, you've got or the company's website, you've got my federal license number. Once I usually explain, like, you have my federal license number. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
had to get like, and by the way, like, I'm not gonna risk. This is my livelihood. I'm not gonna risk my livelihood over some information
I love
piece.
that line though. I had to get fingerprinted to get that. That's a great line. Like that's
Yeah.
legit.
So when it comes to social, don't make it a big thing. If they balk at it at all, remember you gave them your federal license number. And the reason that they're asking for it, there's no credit check, so don't be concerned about that. They're not going to pull your credit. What they're going to do is look at your medical records, and the only way to get those, I'm sure you can imagine how many Deborah Johnsons there are in the United States.
Yeah.
The only way to get the accurate records is with your social. Does that make sense?
And Shanika Rania Anderson.
Yeah.